And I mentioned about Oscar for a reason because our next speaker makes films and he is an artist, but he will talk about serious things. Please welcome Yerlan Qoldabek.
Yay! Oh, is it me? I thought actually when I was sitting there, my legs were shaking. I thought there would be more people, but it's like not much. Okay, so it's funny, you know, when I was listening my previous two counterparts, three actually. I thought, you know, because we guys, I kind of born here. I know the mentality. I know the culture. I haven't heard the previous five speeches, but I realized that us, I mean the Kazakhstanis, I don't know, it's Kazakhstanis, Kazakhstan, right? So we are. I just found out that we mostly focus on the fact. We mostly talk about the life itself. We talk about the problems, right? Where people from the other cultures, like a gentleman who talked about the gaming, talked a lot about problem solving. So he was saying, oh, this is a problem, so we'll play this and that. Things get easier or harder. But we mostly talk about emotional issues, about the stuff we experience in our life. That's probably tells something about our culture as well, to me. That's just PS. I don't know what happened to this, but because I put the actual title on top, but someone put this thing on top. I don't know. So my today's speech called Self-censorship. You know, it's when you're censoring yourself. And I have a great deal to talk about the mess. It's the mess. And I want to talk about how to mess with the mess, okay? So, and the worst thing about censorship is I don't know what. So let me tell you about myself a little bit. I was born in Almaty. I'm the fellow Kazakhstani, as all of you are, and my compatriots from the planet of the Earth. Yeah, the same. I was born in Almaty. I studied for film critic in Almaty, and then eventually I went to California, spent there some time, enjoyed, had a lot of fun, used the government money. It was a lot of fun. Other Kazakhs were starving actually, but I used government money. I never shared with them. But so eventually I came back. I worked at the university a little bit, but my career didn't really work out because it seems like I changed my mind a little bit when I was in the United States, and we kind of couldn't deal with the people here. But it's all right. What is funny about it? Come on. You're kidding. So first I want a little bit, you know, I'm not that fluent in English, right? You have to understand this is my third language, and I kind of try to speak the language. So I tried to define, I don't know how to define myself, so I kind of opened the Oxford thing and I realized what is mess. So mess is a situation that is confused and full of problems, right? I'm an artist, right? I try to be an artist. I try not to do some genre to make money on you, but I try to think, what do you struggle? What do you try? What do you try to hide from people? Or what is your misery? And I try to dig into that misery and take that out, right? And show to all people that you're miserable. I mean, all of us, basically. But that doesn't give you a lot of money, for sure. Because people don't like watching on miseries of other people, especially in Kazakhstan. We're like, these kind of things, you know? This kind of montage. So what is wrong with me is that more I try to dig into those kind of things in Kazakhstan, I get into a situation that is confused and full of problems. That's what happens. You guys, still students, enjoy your life, right? And very soon you'll be in this situation too. I don't know what you guys, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm pointing on you, but the guys who's coming from the West, I don't know what are you guys teaching to these kids, but they feel they'll for sure meet the problems in this society. A lot of simple problems that the reality of the books doesn't match the reality that we have here. That is a problem of a civilization problem. That is not a problem of you guys. I mean, the teachers. Thanks a lot. So, actually, I forgot what was the next slide, but I think I have to just push it. Yeah, right. As an artist, I experienced a couple of things. Within the context of our society, I think even for regular people too, because I'm not a regular person, right? We are artists, you know, especially the ones who speak to mass, cannot speak about two things, like politics and economy. That is crazy, right? Because what is politics, like within the frame of the life of a society? politics, it's about decision-making process, right? So something is important, we have to decide. Right? It's very simple. You put 2 boxes, yes or no, and decide. But we can't do that. It's funny, but we can't. In economy, well, you can go ahead if you have an access to Forbes, right, and write in Forbes something very like smart that regular people like me don't understand. So we kind of cut from the economy. So we're not allowed to speak about resources as well. So what are we going to talk about? Mostly our films that go to A-class festivals in Europe, they're mostly about some alcoholism, sex, drugs, cutting the head of a sheep, like in frame right away. I mean, it's not faking. We know it's filmed every day, cutting it. Well, some people say it is true, but I think partially our exoticism is coming from the idea that we're not allowed to speak about very simple dimensions of social life within the society itself. So we kind of try to speak of what we can sell outside, some exotic things, right? Like palms and beaches. So what I'm saying this is just because sometimes I try to speak, though I'm kind of forbidden to speak about it, I try to speak, especially at the places where it is not the place to speak about. Like at the interview at Nazarbayev University, you know, people ask me, I mean, it was very nice, but eventually they asked me, but how do you, what is your relationship to Nazarbayev University? I said, well, but what's the key word here, Nazarbayev or university? And they said, and I said, well, to the first word, I relate like this, and to the second word, I relate like this. I'm not going to tell because it's censored, right? I'm not going to tell what I said. So, but then, of course, I've never been invited to the second round of an interview, or the third, I forgot what. But that's just because I expressed something, I guess, something out of these two, because I think these two related to each other. Okay, yeah. So the usual things, you know, when I find myself being in mess, I usually I just ask very simple questions like why. If you say something, I just why. Something else, I say why, and people hate that. And usually people say, if I say, why I cannot speak about those things? They say, because everything is under control. No need to worry. All right. And I say, oh, really? I'm very sarcastic and skeptical. Right? I say, oh, really? They say, well, because if you're right, that, we can lose some values. And I mean, come on. They're very open-minded, honest, because they work for that, right? They believe in those things. And they say, our values is sovereignty, probably of a person, of a society, I don't know. Peace within the society, economy, freedom, dignity, stability, etc., etc. And they say usually to me, don't be selfish by trying to express yourself only. Because you should learn to sacrifice your smaller self to the bigger common. I mean, I understand that. I know everything, I understand that. And then I usually say, okay, bye. I go home, I just read this way, okay? So then you take a bus and go home and realize watching from window in the bus that not everyone's sacrificing actually within the society. Yeah, some actually rather gaining than sacrificing. And then you say, God, this is not just. This is not just. I mean, well, I'm an artist, right? I've got used to, you know, hang out with some starving artists in San Francisco, so I'm not really, you know, worried about having new shoes, right, or having a nice haircut. But so I don't really spend money, so I can't speak. But I understand a lot of you who studies to this industry things probably will have to shut your, you know, these places. I don't know how it's called. So what happens is I mean, not just me. I'm not that smart, right? You guys smart. If you just go ahead and try to do that, you realize that mess is somehow related to justice. Well, I don't know. Is there a philosopher major here? Someone like who studied philosophy? Oh, no, really? Okay. All right. Cool. Then I'll be just saying whatever I want to say. So, whenever you try to say something or think about justice, or whenever you find out yourself in a situation that something is unjust, it becomes messy, for sure. Like, not that FC Barcelona guy, okay? It gets messy like Messi. Like in English, not like in Argentino. Oh, I have to read this for you. Yeah. So what is... so first I define it as what is mess, right? Here I mean someone's messy, right? And I define it to you. A person whose life is confused and full of problems. All right. That is usually me. Well, sorry, I couldn't find something better, but I'm too limited in my knowledge. That is too political, I understand, but I'm sorry. I could have found something about Jesus Christ, but that's probably too funny to you, right? And I put this. Probably you know this guy, right? And you know what is he not trying to, I mean, of course, he's another way. He's not speaking. He's instead rather not saying anything. And that's the way he's kind of showing his relation to this place. You know what happened eventually here, but if you guys know what happened to this person eventually, it's funny to check in Wikipedia. Go ahead. I'll tell you one thing. They found him just by the picture. Probably you guys know, right? So, of course, I'm not just a random person who just, came out of like blue, right? I have parents and I have some people who kind of worry about me. As long as I stay away from them. Usually they say, God, are you crazy? What's wrong with you, right? Or they say, it's useless. Stop it. It's like, you know this. And you say, someone's, oh, no, he's mad. He's just mad. Just forget about him. Sometimes, especially when I was working at the academia, they were saying, he's schizophrenic. Why are you speaking to him? He's schizophrenic. And I say, well, then why are you letting me to teach here? And they say, oh, you're working to government, not to us, but you're schizophrenic. Well, sometimes, of course, if you go little uber, then you get oppositional. I think this is downgoing list, but this is kind of progression up, okay? This is censoring myself. I'm just censoring myself. When you get oppositional, I don't know which is more heavier, schizophrenic or oppositional, but I think it's kind of related. But I think the worst case within our society is becoming a whistleblower. Like, I think we can even forgive our enemies within our society, but we cannot forgive people, especially our friends who say something to our own faces, our own friends, our own relatives, my own girlfriend, says something. What? I cannot stand that. It's impossible. So, those are just messy attacks. Probably use someone of these, right? So use someone of you guys crazy, mad, or something, as me, or maybe you will be. So, result is usually in society is this: people say it's crazy, don't do anything. Like the result eventually, right? And if you do nothing, you'll be unemployed. You just sit. Where's the You said like if you just sit for long, it'll be harmful to your body, right? The same. If you just sit unemployed and sit, you'll eventually starve to death, right? Just very harmful as well, not just game. Oh, you said game is not harmful, right? Sorry. Sometimes people say it's useless knowing what is the eventual result. Some people who love me, some women, they say, let's leave this country together. But I just came back. I love this country. Oh, to be frank, I love this country, really. I love the language, I love the cuisine, I love the girls, I love everything, really. Even the boys. Some people say just, it's mad. Usually at my workplaces, when I used to work to government, they say, this is mad, okay? You stop this right there. And when they say that, they mean, don't do that, okay? Because you're getting radical. And I say, but I just question you, why? And then that's radical. Like, keep saying why 40 times, like per minute, it's radical. Don't do that to my face, right? All right, this is kind of like almost the middle, okay? So, I'm kind of questioning you here, okay? We know that I said, I love this society. I don't want to run away. I don't want to live somewhere under the palm in beautiful Australia, though it's a beautiful country. I've never been there. Or California, it's a beautiful state. But I want to be here. It's funny here. Really funny. But the question is there a way, if I have some mistakes, forgive me there, okay? Is there a way to be, okay? Be, without unintentionally or intentionally harming the bigger common? Can we be without harming it? Can I be just myself, express myself? Sometimes when people say, stop, shut up right there, I say, hey, this is a free country, yeah? They say, yeah, but not that free. And I say, but what is free then, right? And then we become all this, this philosophical crap. What is free? And eventually do nothing. And we just sit down and talk about free. Now, well, the answer, this was a question, this is the answer. I say, all right, this is my, how to say, who speaks the English well? Messiah, who's the Messiah? Jesus, he Messiah, right? Messiah, yeah, right. So this is my Messiah message to you, okay? We have to try, because eventually, this is not me, okay? This is the classic says that. One should follow the authority of reason, not the reason of authority. If I forgot the article, I'm sorry. But, yeah, you know what I mean, right? I'm kind of joking, but you know what I mean, I hope. And eventually, if the questions are fully answered, we have nothing to be skeptical about. Because I think I'm kind of joking, I'm kind of doing here, these crappy jokes, but eventually I think I'm kind of being skeptical about something, right? Hey, if I disappear tomorrow from this, will everyone care about that? No? Okay. All right, you guys skeptical, right? You say that's naive. Who's to risk within the society? Because we all know that's a useless point. Just don't get mad, don't get radical. I say, no one is going to risk for sure. I know that. Where to get the free will to rise up, probably, right? I say knowledge. Too flat, again, boring. And you guys say, what's the point? We know the rules, we know the people, we know the mentality. I know my parents. We're not going to change anything. You say, what's the point? I say, well, to test the values and find out the answers if we want to truly sustain the values that we mean. Because I told you, usually if you sit down with like average person of this country and sit down and start like really talk, they have values. They have true values that they truly believe. It's not like they're stupid, right? Well, I'm not stupid. I believe in something. And you guys are all smart and you have your values. It's harder to talk about, easier, I guess, to talk about positive things. But every time, I think, when we get challenged by something, we have to answer questions. So, I find some came to censorship. I don't know why. You don't have to read this, but I'm just trying to define what is censor, okay? Because censorship is coming from the word censor. Well, it's an official who examines books, films, news, etc. that are about to be produced and suppressed any parts that are considered obscene, politically unacceptable, or threat to security. Censorship is an act by censor. And here's my question to this definition, of course. What is unacceptable then? But this is somehow has a connection to then what is the value, what is the criteria or criterion within the society, right? Because we cannot say that we just copy the Western values and paste them here, they'll work. No, they're probably not. We have to somehow understand how it works, right? Well, I mean, I don't mean anything about the West. I mean, even East or Southeast or North or whatever. Anything. Central Asia, good. So, the whole title is Self-censorship, right? I want to define a little bit what is self. Because honestly, I don't really sometimes think what is self. I don't know what is me. I know I'm Yerlan and that's it. And it says in Oxford Dictionary, it says one's particular nature or personality, the qualities that make one individual or unique. Got it? Here, think. What is your uniqueness? Are we unique? Are you unique right there? You. Unique? Not you, you. Yeah. You are. You don't know? You don't know? Who don't know that he or she is unique here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, about like 10% of a room. And 90% think that you guys are unique? You truly believe that you guys are unique? Really? And you shake your heads? Really? Okay, let's see. All right, this is another definition of what is criterion, because we said to define something like we cannot take the values of like Saudi Arabia and put it in Africa, or Africa to New Zealand, or New Zealand to Kazakhstan. We have to have understanding of what is criterion to understand, to judge. What are we judging actually, right? I'm not that smart, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to explain. I actually was planning to make some kind of bridges in between, but I forget the example, so I'll just be skipping through the slides. So I called the next slide the sci-fi questions, because within the framework of my society, it's somehow sci-fi. Well, usually if we say censorship, it means the person who is censored is trying to hide something, right? Or take something out from stuff you do or try to say or behave. So usually a person is trying to hide the truth, right? And of course, it's a philosophical question again, what is truth? Yeah. But usually if you go to some bureaucracy or some money laundering, it's not that philosophical truth, very simple truth, okay? But usually it's truth. Sometimes values, I guess, because a person can say, why do you say this to me? I have different point of values. We're not the same. Just get off me, right? And you say, oh, I'm sorry. I thought we share the same values. And then, next question. Does the censor know the truth, him or her or himself? Usually I think this is the most point when I was kicked out from school. But when I question back, the rector of the university say, all right, you challenged me. Can I challenge you back? Do you know that yourself? Oh, you challenged me. Fired. Right? I said, but I just questioned the same question you questioned me. What's wrong with it? Isn't it a free country, yeah? And they're like, of course I know, I'm just acting like a child. Oh, of course I also ask, what is the criterion of truth? I say, what the truth is made of? Well, what do you mean by truth? I suddenly remembered that I prepared all these questions for you to kind of have equipped in you. You have to be equipped by this question, or you have to know next time you face this kind of rector or minister or whatever, you have to maybe ask this kind of question that I asked to be kicked out from school, okay? This is the recipe. Because I teach you how to mess with mess, remember? So I usually say, is the truth an axiom? Like, can I challenge it in theory at least? Or is it something subjective? Maybe just you made that yourself? Right? Is it if it's too boring, you can just leave. Okay, I'm cool. Yeah, I used to be a teacher myself. I used to say to my kids like, all right, just go ahead. It's boring. That'll be in, it'll show me that I'm boring. So, and the last question is, can we test the truth? And is it real? Are you living me? Is it real? I guess I made it too funny, right? I thought I'm gonna make it a little funny and a little kind of serious, but it became completely funny. Okay. All right. The last word I used, the great word, is reality. Okay. Because in my mind, I told you I'm a filmmaker, I'm a screenwriter. The more I write on a paper with my hand, I realize sometimes, when I write something and I make actors to say the simple words I make them say, though they have no any sense. They say it without thinking because they have to say it. I realize, well, I can have power to affect the reality. So if I just structure the composition of the drama well, and people feel something like cry or laugh, it means I can manipulate that. Well, of course, if I'm an evil person, I can manipulate it in a bad way. If I'm a nice person, I can affect it in a nice way. But what I'm saying is here, skeptics are very easy to challenge us, of course, especially if you try to ask something approved within the society. What I'm trying to say is, usually, say when I was kicked out from job and I'm unemployed, right? What I do, I get employed and I find jobs on the internet. I talk to my fellow guys who were kicked out from school, from other jobs as well. I'm not that negative, but it really happened to us. So what I'm saying is just we have a way to affect the reality through internet, movies, and games, technology, and questions. Yeah, I'm very bad in all of these things. I usually just question people. I just say, oh, what is it? What is it? What is it? Why? Usually when I do that, I eventually meet to a point of subjectivism when people, as I said, say that there's no idea. Well, subjectivists, I guess, these are people who like that, who say that there's no actual truth, external, right, truth or objective truth. It's impossible to know something, they say. And I have to say, probably, yeah, you can have another point of view in that, but I'm a believer. I think that we can reach the truth if we try to dig into it. Yeah, I'm kind of a, rational guy. So you'll face that, and I don't know how you'll challenge the person back who'll challenge you with this. I know it's quite hard, especially you guys you don't have that much time. You all be working in the industry. You'll just probably will be following the routine of our society, and things will be the same. Yeah, I don't know, it's unfortunately, but I probably was sat there. Eventually, we'll have to. Probably it's unfortunate to those people who think that there's no valid truth about about anything, about the knowledge. So I say, of course, we may force, but I think eventually we have to sit down and talk, because otherwise we'll get to. We have to speak and have to listen to each other, which is sometimes forbidden in our society. What I said here. Way to express, again, the same boring internet, art, study, think, and ask. Yeah, I usually define art like this. Well, this is, again, from ancient Rome, right? Someone said, a very smart person said, that power is temporal and art is forever. So I usually define power as, well, it's power as well, right? If someone controls us within the society, it's an art. So it's art of control. And I usually, if I'm a person who doesn't have a power, I have to have something else to do and show myself, right? To have my voice. And I usually say that I have art of expression, right? And what I probably was trying to say here is that the movies, the games, the technology, And the smart things that you guys learned here in this beautiful university is something that eventually may free. If we only can find a way to use our free will. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I try to answer here myself, that the worst thing about the censorship is self-censorship. Yeah. Well, yeah. So the last point to say is that you guys don't mess with messy, but rather express yourself. Well, that's again a smart thing from Socrates, I guess, right? He said, unexamined life is not worth living. Okay? Yeah. Well, I guess that's I have to quit. Yeah, it's been like 20 minutes or what, right? Yeah. More? Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks.